What's up YouTube? It's me, Jess, and I'm an opera singer. Today's video is going to be Demi Lovato singing Dancing with the Devil live. Let's go.
It's just a little red wine, I'll be fine. Not like I wanna do this every night. I've been good, don't I deserve it? I think I earned it, feels like it's worth it in my mind.
Okay, let me pause here. First off, she looks incredible. She looks really good. Love her nails too. I'm gonna say, first thing is, the atmosphere that she is singing in is not singer friendly. This is not advantageous to singers because you're just outside. You have no wood, you have no walls, you have nothing to allow the sound to kind of bounce off of it coming out of your mouth. Instead, you're just in this wide open space out in wherever she is. And what happens is when you sing without a mic, when you sing into a space like this, the oxygen within the air just immediately absorbs all of the sound, and you literally cannot hear yourself, hence the need for a microphone and earpieces. So that's just one aspect of singing pop. Even opera. Singing opera outside is one of the few times you will actually see opera singers singing with a mic, is when they're outside, for these very reasons, because it is just acoustically not helpful for singers. Now, similar to Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato has a very exaggerated jaw movement when she's doing her riffs and her runs. And I'll say the same thing like I did in Ariana Grande's video. When you're at this level of fame and success, that type of jaw movement, once you've done it for so long, it just becomes a habit. And I'm not going to say impossible, but it's really, really hard to rid of that habit that you've created doing your riffs and runs when you're at this stage in your career and when you've been doing that habit for so long. It's all a personal preference, right? For true Lovato fans, that jaw movement and the way her riffs and runs sounds great to some people, and other people, they don't like it. And at the end of the day, it's all subjective. However, what I will say is, to me, there is a very big difference in sound to someone who riffs and runs with an exaggerated jaw movement versus someone who doesn't have that excessive movement going on in their jaw when they're riffing and running. And for someone, let's say, like Demi Lovato or Ariana Grande, who do a lot of jaw movement, I feel that the notes within the phrases of the riff or the run are very disconnected. You can hear the disconnect from one note trying to go to the next, and then that note trying to get to the other one. Versus someone who doesn't have that habit, I feel it's much easier to get to the result of a very smooth and legato riff or run phrase. And that's just my own, let's say, opinion from listening to various different singers who do a lot of riffs and runs. That's kind of the conclusion I've come to. And just from this short clip that I've seen Demi Lovato singing in, she's done some riffing and running, and you can very clearly hear the disconnect from one note to the next. And sometimes you can even hear the loss of tonality, let's say, in some of the pitches. And this is not only attributed to excessive jaw movement. It has a lot to do with musicality, whether it just comes naturally, X, Y, and Z factors. Now, I will say, so far, I love the lyricism. I have to give a huge amount of respect to the actual words of the song. So in the very first line, she said something along the lines of, it's just a little red wine, I'll be fine.
It's just a little red wine, I'll be fine.
To me, this is a quote, and starting a song with a quote is so genius because it hooks you as a listener right in, because it puts you at a very specific moment within a very specific scene of time. So I've got to give her props for songwriting so far. Let's keep going.
Twisted reality, hopeless insanity. I told you I was okay, but I was lying. the devil.
Ooh, okay, Demi, I've got to give credit to where credit is due. Demi Lovato has an incredible belt in her higher register. It's insanely good, especially when it's well placed. It's just so resonant and it looks and sounds so effortless. Now, what's hard about this particular song, and actually quite a few, I don't know all of her songs, but the few that I know, this is kind of a theme in these songs, is oftentimes in the chorus, it just has this high note right at the beginning of the phrase. And the difficulty in that is that you have no preparational notes to help you kind of climb up and get to that high note. No, you've just got this extremely vulnerable moment where you've got to sing this massive note in your upper register in full chest. Demi does it so well. What she's doing is interesting. I don't know why I keep referencing the Ariana Grande video, maybe because I just did it. But Ariana Grande, in the one video I did of her, has a similar moment where the phrase just starts on a high note. And what I was admiring about Ariana Grande was how quickly she was able to just literally open her mouth and get to that high note. Demi Lovato is actually doing something a little bit different, and she's actually sliding up into that high note. It's ever so slight, and you have to really pay attention to it. But she's kind of starting at a lower note and going, dancing with the, and getting her mouth to open as she's sliding up and into that high note.
I was dancing with the devil, playing with the enemy.
Very effective and works just as well as just opening up your mouth to get up there. I love that. I will say also the last phrase. Love the last phrase. It took me by surprise, and I loved how she connected it all in one sentence.
It's so hard to say no when you're dancing with the devil.
She sang the entire last phrase in one breath and connected one note right into the next. And it was a long phrase, and I really admired that and loved that. I also loved how the very last note was slightly underpitched and had a little bit of a vocal fry. To me, it just sounded like an emotional response she was having to the words. Nice low note.
It's just a little white line, I'll be fine. But soon that little white line is a little glass pipe. 10 for a remedy, almost got the best of me. I keep praying I don't reach the end of my life. Twisted reality, hopeless insanity. I told you I was okay, but I was lying. I was dancing with the devil,
Yes.
out of control. Almost made it to heaven. It was closer than you know. Flying with the enemy, gambling with my soul. It's so hard to say no when you're dancing with the devil. Thought I knew my limit.
Interesting. Okay, let me pause here really quick. So one thing I will say is I have to give an immense amount of appreciation to Demi Lovato and how she's pronouncing her words. As someone who doesn't know the song or the lyrics, she's really enunciating through all of the words, and I'm having no troubles following along. And that's really important to me because I don't want to lose interest trying to figure out what she's saying, so I can follow the storyline. So job well done to Demi. Now this transitional part that we just heard. So in pop songs, it's common for the formula to go from the second chorus right into the bridge. And what happened here in the live is she had to cut the word devil super short because of timing in order for her to get right into the bridge, right? Now, when you're when you're recording this is no issue at all. When you're in the studio, you just record your second chorus and hold the note for as long as you want, and then you stop recording. Then the producer replays what you just sang, and then you come in on the bridge at the normal time. But that makes it really hard to do in a live performance. And her choice was to cut double short to make it on time for the bridge.
It's so hard to say no when you're dancing with the devil. Thought I knew my limit.
What another alternative is she could just sing dancing and hold dancing and then kind of take a quarter note or some extra time for herself to come into the bridge, right? So she wouldn't be singing the entire sentence dancing with the devil, but that would be to compensate for the timing necessary to just come into the bridge. Either way, I just wanted to point those differences out in recording something like that with that formula and then performing it in a live performance.
My soul, it's so hard to say no when you're dancing with the devil. Thought I knew my limit. Yeah, I thought that I could quit it. Yeah, thought that I could walk away easily. But here I am falling down on my knees, praying for better days to come and wash this pain away. Could you please forgive me? Lord, I'm sorry for dancing with the devil.
Honey.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Closer than you know. It's so hard to say no when you're dancing with the devil. Thank you guys so much for coming. And thanks for tuning in. I love all of you.
such a gorgeous smile too. My God, did I mention Demi Lovato has a crazy belt in her higher register that was literally insane. And again, she makes it sound and look so easy. That, God, that is just not easy to do whatsoever. That's like the best way that I can put it. It's just not easy to do. Yeah, I also have to give Demi props on her song choices. I feel one of the biggest appeals about Miss Lovato is she sings experiences that have happened to her. She sings about important things, about very vulnerable things, and that to me creates relatability. It doesn't paint this picture perfect image that everything is happy and fine. No, she's letting you know about real experiences through her ups and through her downs, and I have to give her so much props on doing that because it does create a really nice relationship between herself and all of her fans. So I give her props for the song choices, the lyricism, and honestly, the difficulty of the song and how she's able to just freaking belt out those crazy high notes. I only wish. If you liked all that you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and also comment down below whether you are a huge Demi Lovato fan. If you'd like to connect with me on a more personal level, check out my Discord link down below as well as my Patreon link. My Patreon only starts at $3 a month and I've got some really exclusive perks for all of my patrons. If you'd like to book a lesson with me, I've got some openings in my schedule and I would love for you to take advantage of the promotion that I've got going on for just $65 an hour. This promotion will end May 1st. So make sure you take advantage of that. And lastly, if you'd like to sponsor a video of your own, check out the link down below where you can sponsor your own video. That link will take you directly to my website where we will go through the process of getting your favorite artists out on my channel quickly. I hope you'll have a great day and I'll see you soon. Bye!